Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. Flat day, Dow up 12. S&P was up, 5 cents? Up a little bit, down a little bit, finished right back where it started. Can't make a much more perfect doji than that for a daily. I would expect this is what we're going to see to the rest of the week. Tomorrow is month end. Thursday is going to be slowing down in the afternoon. Might see a little bit of motion in or on Thursday morning, but then after that, I think as the day rolls on, it's just going to get slower and slower and slower as people leave for the weekend. 3-day weekend, once again, no trading on Friday. If we were going to see a move in the market, especially to the downside, I would have suspected that we would have seen it by now, either yesterday or today. I mean, there's always that outside chance that we'll see something tomorrow, but I just don't think it's going to be big, if anything at all. And there's no reason to get overly bearish yet, because look what's in front of you. It's all sideways, chop action. And what has sideways action brought us? Higher prices. It's just a high base. We're just kind of in a trading range now, actually. On the Dow, between 10,950 and 10,800 is what we're watching. So I'm looking for breaks above 10,950 and or breaks below 10,800. Gee, go figure. Just sitting in a trading range right here. Head and shoulders on the 60-minute we were watching is definitely a broken formation at this point. And we did test that 10,940, but we're just going nowhere. So today on a daily, you can see we're at, on, below, however you want to figure it. This blue line, got to remember that these things aren't precise. You just kind of use it as a gauge. And so far, if you want to just look at the bigger picture, we have a high base. We are moving up. However, that high base hasn't really been broken quite yet. Above 10,950, then I would say that the high base is kind of on its way, which is my, of course, overhead target to get long. And you can see here that we are holding below that blue trend line. So maybe tomorrow we do a little bit more of the same. Maybe trend sideways and start putting in a little bit of a high base before a move back up on Thursday. I don't know, total speculation here. But you can see the volume starting to pour out of the markets as the week rolls on. Nobody that's in a big position now is going to want to enter a large position towards the end of the week. No one's going to want to hold over a 3-day weekend, and no one's going to start piling into a huge short position or piling into a huge long position before the 3-day weekend. I just don't see it happening. I don't know why they do it. Month end, they're going to just go ahead and wait till next week until we get a full week of trading and we're into a new month, and then maybe we'll see some bigger action come in. I just don't suspect we're going to see much of it over the next couple days. NDX on a 60-minute, you can see it also chopping sideways as well. Nothing broken here from a daily standpoint, putting in same type of doji looking thing we've seen on all the other indices. Maybe this rolls sideways into this blue trend line. Still early to tell yet, but we are between that 1960-1970 overhead resistance we've been watching on the weekly, and we're holding so far. So maybe we put in one of those weeks where the whole week moves, 10 points or 15 points or whatever it is. We'll see, but we might not see a lot of motion to the weekly candle, seeing how we are as stretched as we are, right into that overhead resistance. SPX on a 60-minute, also chopping sideways today. We saw a break down above this trend line again, takes us back to what? Retest this channel line. So we had support, 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 a break, now resistance, resistance. Curious how that works. Let's see if we get back up here. If it does, 1180, which was one of my overhead areas, is once again acting as kind of double resistance up here with the channel line and this overhead here. And ain't going to last much longer. So we'd have to run up pretty fast to get to that particular resistance area. But I would start watching this blue line now if we continue to come up and retest this area, see if that actually holds going forward. SPX on a daily, once again, we are definitely outside of this blue line. Now we're kind of coming back up to retest that underside of the blue line, putting in today that doji. Yes, potential reversal doji, but yeah, those have worked out real well in the past, so I wouldn't put a whole lot of faith in that one. SPX on a weekly, crawling up very slowly, but surely. However, getting pretty stretched in here. We'll see if it can actually maybe find some legs towards the end of the week. It's very possible that we could pop up with the volume getting lighter. Maybe the bulls can push this around a little bit more before the end of the week. It's really anyone's call. It wouldn't take a whole lot to push this market one way or the other based on what we've seen this week. VIX on a daily, it was down 45 cents today, which is 2.5%, especially when you're down in these areas here. Those little tiny moves add up to be a lot in the bigger picture. But right in between, support down here, resistance up above, and just basing. This basing formation is a low base for the time being, and so it has to be looked at as neutral to bearish, and that would mean any move down in the VIX would also coincide with moves up in the market. So let's see if we come back down to end or retest this bottom trend line before the end of the week. Apple on a 60-minute was up $3.46 today. Another big move by Apple. And it's holding well. Gap up